This is the last video you're gonna have to watch about finding the right niche for your growth operating business. Just to quickly show you some proof that I know what I'm talking about, I've been doing copywriting and growth operating for the past 3 years. This is my Stripe account, and last month I made over $98,000 in just 1 month with just a couple of clients. And yeah, I just wanted to give you some quick proof so you know why you should listen to me. So moving on. In this video, I'm going to tell you what is the right approach when it comes to finding the right niche, and I'm going to explain what makes a niche good and what makes one bad so that you know what to look for. I'm going to explain some concepts that I don't see a lot of other gurus explain. They just tell you, oh, this is the best niche to go for in 2025. Look for creators in this niche and you'll become a millionaire in 2025. This niche is printing in 2025 and all that stuff. But what happens next? What happens when you go for that niche? That, everyone who watches these videos look for the same creators in the same niche, using the same outreach message, and the market gets saturated as fuck with people who don't know how to think for themselves and just copy what everyone else is doing. And the truth is, if you want to be successful in this business and in any business in general, you're gonna have to stand out a little bit. And the only way to stand out is to not copy what everyone else is doing. You have to, be a little bit different. And to be able to do that, you have to understand the fundamental concepts. You need to understand why you have to do certain things instead of just copying what someone else is doing. I think the reason why I've been able to be successful in this business, I guess, is because I don't just blindly copy what everyone else is doing. I want to understand why people are doing certain things, and then I add my own little twist to that. That allows me to be unique and stand out in the market. That's why instead of telling you, let me make sure I'm recording. Okay. That's why instead of telling you to go for a specific niche, I want to explain to you how to find the right niches, what to look for, so that you don't have to rely on anyone else. And instead of giving you the fish, I'm going to teach you how to fish so that you'll be set for life. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. First of all, I want to say that picking a niche doesn't have to be a stressful process. People like to overcomplicate everything, but you really shouldn't overcomplicate this. And let me tell you why. There are a million things in this business that are more important than picking the right niche. Your job should be to wake up every day and focus on the activities that are going to bring the biggest ROI, which is the biggest return on investment. And picking a niche, spending time picking a niche is not a ROI activity, high ROI activity, because guess what? If you pick a niche that's not working or it's not good, you can always change it. You don't have to be stuck in that niche forever. And speed is essential in business. The people who have the most success in business are the people who are able to take action as fast as possible. And spending a week trying to figure out the right niche is just a waste of time, because you could have used that time to start, messaging out creators and get feedback and, do all that stuff. Now, I'm going to give you 2 examples, and let me know who do you think is going to see better results and is going to have more success in business. We have guy number 1 who spends a whole week trying to figure out what is the best niche to approach. It's like, oh, maybe this niche is good, but this one might be better. He starts making, a list of pros and cons about each list. And finally, after a week, he decides to go for the, relationship niche. He starts doing the outreach, but then he quickly realizes that this is not the right niche for him. And then we have guy number 2. And guy number 2 is fast. He didn't spend more than 5-10 minutes picking a niche. He just watched this whole video and immediately started taking action and implementing what I said. And yeah, he takes action fast. He goes for one niche, but he quickly realizes that it's not good for him. So without wasting any time, he just picks a different one and he keeps doing it until he finds success. So who do you think is going to see faster results? Guy number 1 or guy number 2? And obviously it's going to be guy number 2, because while guy number 1 was wasting time thinking, oh, what is the best niche, guy number 2 was taking action and he got feedback and he changed direction based on that feedback. And the best way to be successful in business is not just to take action, but to take action fast and to focus on high ROI activities. And the two highest ROI activities you should be focusing on are client acquisition, and so doing daily outreach and learning and improving your skills. Everything else is secondary. Spending time trying to figure out the right niche is not going to make you more money, but spending time trying to get new clients and improving your skills is going to make you more money. So now that we got this out of the way, let me tell you how you can find the right niche. First, I would say you have to identify things that you're good at, or things that you know very well, or you are passionate about. If you have a lot of knowledge on a specific topic, you don't really need to waste time looking at different niches. You can start looking for creators in that specific niche. The reason why is that if you understand a specific topic very well, it'll be much easier for you to deliver good results to these creators. It'll be much easier to script videos or write, landing pages and VSLs and emails and stuff like that. Overall, it's going to make the whole process of writing copy much easier and faster. So you have to remember what exactly we're trying to do here as growth operators. We are trying to launch and scale an offer for a creator. And to do that, we need to understand what problem we're trying to solve. So we need to understand the pain points of that specific audience, and we need to know what their desired outcome is. And we need to be able to understand how to explain to that audience how our product offer is going to help them solve their problem. So for example, let's say you're passionate about golfing and you know everything about it. You know the ins and outs, you understand the technical things, you know what are the biggest struggles that golfers face. And don't you think it'd be much easier for you to help let's say a golf creator sell their product, course, offer, whatever? And yeah, of course, it would be much easier for you because you already know everything about golfing. You know how to talk to golfers. You know what they need, and it's going to be much easier for you. So you don't have to necessarily start looking for the best niches, the niches where you can make the most money. I know we're trying to make as much money as possible and as fast as possible. So you might want to look for a niche where like a bizop niche where you can make a lot of money maybe quickly. But you don't have to do that. Like you can look for something you like and look for creators in that niche. And if I were you, I would stop asking. I would stop asking myself, am I going to make money in this niche? Am I going to become rich in this niche? Because the truth is, you can make money in every niche, basically every niche. And also, even if that niche isn't going to make you super rich, you have to remember that you are probably a beginner and you probably have no experience. So when you partner up with your first creator, it's not really about making money. It's about getting some experience, and it's about getting that first case study that you can showcase to your future prospects. And also it's about proving to yourself that you can actually do this and you can actually deliver results, good results, and help other people make more money. And that's going to give you that boost in confidence that you need in order to get more clients in the future. So the first thing I would do if I were you is to make a quick list of topics you understand well or that you're passionate about, and write down what your skills are. And remember, I'm not saying that you have to be an absolute expert in that topic. You just have to know a little bit about it. And if it's something that you're interested in, you can always do some research later. If there is something you're interested in or you're passionate about, you might as well just look for creators in that niche and partner up with those creators, and it'll make the whole process much easier and less stressful. Because imagine you go for a niche you absolutely don't understand and you absolutely hate. So first of all, you probably won't be able to deliver good results, and plus you're gonna get stressed and you're probably gonna give up. Let me give you an example. I know everything about music production. I've been a music producer for years. It would be much more fun and a lot easier for me to help scale a creator in that niche, in the music industry, in the music producer niche, than to try and learn everything about golfing, because I don't know anything about golfing. I've never done it. I don't know anything about golfing. I just don't care about golfing in general. So it'd be much easier for me to go for something I already know and understand. So make a quick list of topics things you're passionate about or interested in, and start looking for creators in those niches. If you don't have knowledge or experience in anything, don't worry, it's fine. I'm sure there is something you're interested in, and something you'd enjoy learning about. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. You can pick different things and then choose the one you prefer later. If you're not sure what to pick, just pick 3 or 4 different niches and start looking for creators in those niches and see what kind of feedback you get. And once you get some feedback, you can just pick the one you prefer. As I said before, the most important thing is to not waste time. So I wouldn't spend more than, honestly, 10-15 minutes trying to pick a niche, and because it's not worth it. You have to focus on high ROI activities. How do you know if the niche you chose is good or bad? But let me give you some pointers so that you know exactly what to look for so you avoid wasting time. There are 2 questions that you need to ask yourself when looking for a niche. First one is, does it solve a problem? And the second is there enough market in this niche? And let me explain both. First, does it solve a problem? So why do we need to ask ourselves this question? Because there's no point in trying to sell something that doesn't solve a problem. No one is going to buy it. People usually spend money for things that can solve their problems. So I wouldn't waste my time working on an offer that doesn't provide a real solution to a specific problem. And let me give you a specific example so you can understand better what I mean when I say to look for something that solves a specific problem. If you partner up with a creator who is an influencer and he posts like generic vlogs, generic content, and he's selling like merch to his audience, let's say, you can see how it would be much harder for you to sell this kind of product just because it's very generic and it doesn't solve a very specific problem. The audience might buy the merch because they like the influencer and they like the merch, but it's harder to persuade someone to buy something if they don't have anything to gain from it. Now, let's say you find a creator who sells a course where he teaches divorced dads how to get back in the dating market. You see how specific this is? Imagine you're a divorced dad and you're struggling to date or to find a new partner. If you find something or a course that can help you do that, you're probably going to spend a lot of money for it. Like guaranteed. It's much easier to sell something like this than to sell something, very generic. So when you're looking for a niche and a creator, make sure to pick one that makes content that solves a specific problem. The more specific the problem, the better it is. Now, the second question was, is there enough market? Once you find a niche and a creator and you make sure that the content they're making is solving a specific problem, all you have to do is see if people are actually interested in that solution. And you can see that by looking at, different metrics like, view count and views and engagement. If you've decided to go for a very specific niche, but you see that creators in that niche are not getting many views and the people are not, actually engaging with the content, then maybe you shouldn't waste your time on that niche. If people are not engaging and videos are not getting a lot of views, chances are that people are not interested enough in that specific, topic. So they wouldn't spend money to buy a course or a product. So good things when looking for a niche are it solves a specific problem and there is enough market and interest in that topic. And bad things when looking for a niche are it does not solve a specific problem and there is not enough interest on that topic. Now, the last piece of advice I'm going to give you when it comes to picking a niche is to niche down as much as you can. You have to identify the macro niches and then look for specific problems to solve in those. For example, 2 macro niches are men's health and fitness and self-improvement. So when you talk about self-improvement, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of micro niches in the self-improvement macro niche. And you should go as deep as you possibly can to find the most specific problem. in that macro niche. For example, a micro niche for the self improvement is how to avoid procrastination. So I went from generic self improvement to which contains a lot of different things to something more specific, which is how to avoid procrastination. And if you want, you can niche down even further and look for something like how to avoid procrastination if you're a busy mom, something like that. I just made this up, but if you look on YouTube, you're gonna find some content for this. And I said this just to prove to you that there are so many untapped niches that no one is talking about that could potentially make you a lot of money. All you have to do is just use a little bit of your brain power, not even a lot, just a little bit, and think outside of the box for just a couple of minutes. For example, as I said, how to avoid procrastination if you're a busy mom. No one is thinking about this stuff. No one is looking for creators in these niches. Everyone is looking for creators in the make money online space, the bizop space. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but there are so many other niches that have the potential to print money that no one is talking about. And some of them are weird as fuck and some things that nobody would ever think of. So just use a little bit of your imagination and think of something different. The most important thing, as I said before, is speed. So take 10-15 minutes, write down a list of things you're interested in or you have some knowledge about, write down some possible niches and just start looking for creators. Once you have a list, don't overthink, start looking for creators. If that niche doesn't work, scratch it, go for the next one. And if it doesn't work, go to the next one and keep doing it until you find the right one. So I know this is not the typical video where I give you a bunch of niches and I say, oh, these niches are printing in 2025. These are the best niches in 2025. And I just give you a list. But I don't think that's useful but I mean, it might be useful, but I don't think it's that valuable because it doesn't teach you how to think and how to look for the right things. So I just wanted to teach you how to think and how to look for things yourself so you don't have to rely on anyone else. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you liked it, make sure you subscribe, I'll do all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.